Hi guys, my name is Fallon Rice. I'm a presidential diamond with It Works Global, and a lot of people have heard my story, but you kind of leave things out and you don't really tell the full truth of everything just for time's sake or whatever. So I really wanted to come on and share the real, raw, uncut version of what this has done for my life. So before It Works, I was a normal girl. I'm from Houston. I went to college at Baylor University and I studied there. I got my master's in accounting, my undergraduate in business, and I was just doing what they said you need to do, right? Go to school, get a good job, and of course what came along with that, a lot of loans, a lot of student loan debt, but I got a good job, outside of, once I graduated. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I've got this job. The firm that I was with after graduate school was a prestigious, Big Four accounting firm. Which in hindsight, they still paid pennies. That's the real and raw, uncut version of that. And I moved to Atlanta for this position. And before I even started, they moved my start date back. And most people don't know that I was actually praying that I could even make it a couple months, a couple weeks until they decided to call me to fulfill, my contract with them to come and work at the firm after school. So I was at temp agencies. I remember praying that I could make, $50 or $100 a day to just be able to survive. I'd already moved down here. I had an apartment in Buckhead, and I was like, wow, this was not a part of my plan. It was already starting off rough. This post-school adult life was starting out, a little rough for me. I did get that call back from the firm. I started working after a couple of weeks, and things were going fine, except that I was working 80 hours a week. And my client was in Columbus, Georgia, about an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Atlanta. And it was very stressful. It was a stressful environment. I loved my coworkers. We got along great. Actually, because of them, I really can say I'm in It Works because we had such a great relationship that I went to South Africa with some of my coworkers from that firm. But it was just a stressful environment. No one wants to work 80-hour weeks. You're always at the client's beck and call. We never knew when the partner was going to tell us that we could be released to go home for the day. We weren't on a 9-to-5 schedule. And so for a 20-something that wants to, use their degree and have fun and still live their life, it was too much. It was way too much. But I definitely enjoyed that experience, but it was too much for me. And about 6 months after working there, I get a call from Sally Mae, Navient, whatever she's calling herself these days. And I basically found out that all of my loans were no longer in deferment and they wanted $2,000 a month from me. Needless to say, I got very depressed. Everyone knows I love food, and I started gaining weight because even making a good corporate salary, I didn't have enough to give Sally Mae an extra $2,000 a month for this $240,000 in his, in student loan debt that I'd accumulated from the school that I went to. So I kind of began to spiral. I had multiple jobs after, I would work 80-hour weeks and then still come back and, I was doing retail, everything I could to get, a little extra cash. So I really understand the people that are like, I just need a little bit. They say the people whose homes are in foreclosure right now, they just need an extra $300 to $500 a month. And that was me. I just needed some breathing room to not feel like I was going to go under. I needed to not have my hair falling out from stress thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be paying off these loans when my kids have kids. That's a very depressing thing, especially for anybody, but especially for someone who is, a CPA, a finance and accounting major. I understood what I should be doing with my money, but I never had any money. So I was sitting, I left that job. I started working for a different company, and I was going to South Africa with friends for a second time because I enjoyed it so much. It's my first time from going with my initial coworkers from KPMG, and I told my friends, we've got to go to South Africa. It's the best trip I've ever been on. So I rounded up 10 of my friends and we went. And the day that we were going to South Africa, like I said, I was depressed. I'd been eating, trying to get my waist down. And I'm just sitting at my cube. I was very, I loved my second job. It was great. I got to do a lot of traveling, but it was a very stressful work environment there. And I did not like it. I'll just say that I did not like it. After 2 or 3 years there, it was weighing on me. So I was sitting in my cube, bored, waiting for my flight that night. And I came across an Instagram picture. Other than Jesus, to this day, I still have no idea how Alina's Instagram came across my feed. And she was just her standing outside, and she said, "Hey Atlanta, I'm out here wrapping bellies today for $25 if you want to try one. It'll tighten, tone, and firm in 45 minutes. And I thought, that's a piece of baloney, but I'm going to give her my $25 and I'm going to try it and I'm going to see what happens. And I did. She met me on my lunch break. I went to Starbucks. She drove all the way from North Atlanta, from Marietta, all the way to South Atlanta by the airport and met me at a Starbucks. She wrapped me. I got amazing results, and frankly she bothered me for about a week while I was out of the country to get my before and after pictures. I had no idea that she posted them. I had no idea that my picture had gone viral. I was just happy that, you know, I didn't waste my money on the $25. I wasn't really worried about joining the business side. I was just interested in being a customer. You know, I just wanted a cute picture on the beach. You know, that's the real truth. People think that I, you know, wanted to come and make all this money, and it's not. I was just interested in the product, and it worked. And that's really why I ended up joining. A, I knew the product worked because I saw it on myself. And B, I was like, this girl's the same age as I am. We actually have the same, you know, background so far as what we studied in school. You know, she was cute. She wasn't working in the middle of the day, and she was able to come and, you know, put the product on me. It was awesome. And so I said, okay, well, I clearly trust her. She can't be like a crazy person. And it took me about 3 weeks after seeing her promote to the rank of triple diamond in this company. And the average triple diamond makes about $9,000 a month. And she got a $50,000 bonus on top of that when she went triple diamond. And if I want to be frank, that interested me like 0%. No, like I didn't care. You know, I was like, that's crazy. Nobody's making that kind of money. But that same day, she had girls on her team that went diamond in the company. They went double diamond. And the diamonds make an average $2,000 a month. When I saw that picture of, I'll never forget, it was Denise. Denise went diamond and got $2,000, you know, a month residual on top of her $20,000 diamond bonus. That sealed the deal for me. That is why I joined. I knew that if I could get in this company and make an extra $2,000 a month, that some of that depression, the stress, the worry about how am I ever going to dig myself out of this hole? How am I ever going to live a normal, you know, life? How am I ever going to find someone and, you know, start a life with them and not have my credit jacked up? This was the answer for me. You know, a corporate salary just wasn't cutting it. It was not enough. So that's really why I joined. I thought I have nothing to lose. The product worked, and clearly people are out here making money. It's $99 to join. Why would I not give this a try? And thank God I did. So my first 3 months in this business were absolutely insane. I used to try to water this part down and say that I was very, you know, I just did this and I did a little of that. And guys, I went hard. All I knew was that there was a $10,000 diamond bonus on the line if I went diamond in my first 90 days. So I did that. I went diamond in the company my first 75 days in the business, and I was blown away by the fact that I was like seriously bringing in extra thousands of dollars a month in 90 days. I was calling everyone I knew. I lost 30 pounds in 2 months on these amazing products. I was dealing with a lot. People want to talk about their struggles. They want to give excuses. And again, this is the real and raw version. I'm trying to still keep it nice. But so much happened in my personal life during those first 3 months that I don't really have, I empathize with people. But if I can do what I did in this business in 75 days with everything that went wrong the first 90 days that I was in this business, anybody can do it. I was in a wreck and totaled my car. I found out that I had a heart condition. Actually, we still to this day don't even know what it is. I have pictures. I would go to the hospital and I was getting 5-10 vials of blood every week, you know, taken out of my arm for testing. I was very weak. The week after I joined, my brother passed away. 3 weeks after I joined, my sister gave birth 4 or 5 months early to my nephew. I'll never forget, it was a Friday morning, May 8th. I walked into the office at Delta, and my mom called and said, get here now. They don't know if Valencia is going to make it. They don't know if the baby is going to make it. You know, she has preeclampsia. And I just remember bawling, crying, booking a flight and flying home. And with everything that was going on in my personal life in my first 3 months, you know, I remember the day that I landed, for my brother's funeral, my mom picked me up from the airport and we went directly to buy a car for me because the insurance called and said, oh yeah, your rental car from totaling the car out, yeah, we're done giving you that. It was just stress on top of stress, situation on top of situation. And I remember people saying to me, you know, I can't believe you left your brother's funeral and drove all the way back to Atlanta, you know, and you stopped and did a rap party on your way back. And everybody has struggles, everybody has situations, everybody deals with grief or whatever differently. But one thing I knew was Sally Mae was still gonna call me. I was still gonna have rent. You know, I still had to take care of myself. And at the end of the day, my corporate salary still wasn't enough money. So this was still the way out despite my struggles. So everyone says, how did you do that? How did you overcome? You just kept plugging away. If you wanna know the truth of the matter, when my brother died, when everything happened, yeah, you get a couple bereavement days, but you have to get up and go to work. And so I kept that same mindset about this business because I knew that it was gonna be the way out for me, that this was gonna be the only thing to really give me and my family, my future, you know, create generational wealth despite whatever is going on, you know, around me, you know. And of course, you know, praying, having a strong circle of friends is also how I was able to, you know, overcome a lot of those struggles. So going to work, continuing to push despite, you know, despite being tired, despite tragedy, because you know that you have, you know, a bigger purpose, a bigger why. That's really how I was able to overcome those things. And thank God I did, because I chose to push past that, my entire life changed in 5 months. In 5 months, I was able to replace my corporate salary. I remember getting that check thinking, this check is bigger than the check I get every month from my corporate job. And I've been out of graduate school for 5 years. It took me 5 years to earn what I was making, and I earned that same amount in 5 months out of school. Needless to say, a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I resigned from corporate America, and I've been full-time, you know, doing this ever since. And it's been amazing. As if that wasn't enough, 5 months after that, after I was able to retire, I was able to go triple diamond and presidential diamond in the company and rack up on an additional $150,000 in good bonuses. Good is an acronym for get out of debt. Get out of debt is the focus of this company, and that's another reason that I knew I was joining the right company, because I had so much debt. And thank God, because of this opportunity, I've only been with the business now a year and a half, and I've been able to pay off over $90,000 in debt, hospital debt, auto loans, student loan debt, and this credit card debt because of this business. I wasn't even making $90,000 a year at my old job, and I've been able to pay that off already because I said yes, because I decided to use the products, get results, tell everybody about it. I decided to continue on despite everything that was going on around me. So that's just been, you know, a really awesome testimony. Within my first year in the business, I was named the top earner in the company, which still blows me away. I'm not really quite sure how that happened, but I'm grateful. And, you know, now I'm really working on doing this exact same process in others, whether it's helping them make an extra $500 a month, whether it's helping them make an extra $1,000 a month, or whether it's helping somebody get to the Millionaires Club, you know, in 5 years. That is really what I'm focused on, because I understand that this business can absolutely change your entire life, not just financially. It unlocks freedom. It unlocks a belief in yourself. It makes you have to really work on yourself, your personal skills. And that's what I feel like I've gained the most in this business. I pray so much more. I am always reading. Self-development is huge. And if I was still working corporate America, I wouldn't be doing that. I would say I wouldn't have time. I was too tired. But in order to really continue to pour out and unlock the destinies of other people through this platform, you have to constantly be filling yourself up. And it's just been amazing because it's unlocked so many dreams within myself that I didn't even know I had. It's unlocked the dreams for so many other people that they didn't even know that they had. And so now that's really my focus. Yes, I want to continue to, you know, grow in the business. I want to hit the last rank of the company. I want to hit the Millionaires Club. But more than anything, I want to continue to see people become enlightened. I want them to realize what they're capable of. I don't want them to think that their norm is it. If you don't want to work a 9 to 5, you don't have to. If you want to stay at your 9 to 5 and do this as, you know, a side gig, you can absolutely do that. If you don't want to leave your spouse every morning and you want to work with them and start a business with them, you can absolutely do that. If you have a dream that you've given up on, you can do that. If you want to lose 100 pounds and you've tried 30 times, but you make up in your mind that this is the time, you can do that. And so I really want to use, my story, everything I've been through, to say I am not an anomaly. If you put your head down and get the work done, you can do the exact same thing for whatever your situation is. And that's really all I want to do. I want to unlock dreams in other people, and I want to be that catalyst to cause them to think bigger, to dream bigger, and to do more. So I'm so appreciative for this opportunity. I'm now very appreciative for, my story as it's come full circle and it's still unfolding. But at the end of the day, I know that I would absolutely not be where I am if all of the pieces hadn't, basically lined up and come together to this point. For those of you that are already in this business that are wondering, wow, what do I need to do to get there? Make sure you're setting goals. Make sure you're around positive people. Make sure you're treating this like it's really a business. This was never a side gig or a side hobby for me. And I think that has translated in my business. People join me because they know that I'm serious. And then on the flip side, I have people that say, oh, you're way too intense, I can't do it. You need to be you. Bring your personality, your flavor. I'm an intense person. I've always been, acted with this sense of urgency. People say, oh, I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to go as hard as you did. You don't have to. If you want an extra $500 a month, well, you don't have to do everything that I did in the first, 75 days, because everything that I did got me $2,000, an extra $2,000 a month. If you want to break it down and do that slowly over time, you can absolutely do that and still just keep plugging away at your goals. Never give up on yourself and keep your blinders on. Your story is your story. The pace at which you move is going to be the exact thing that someone else in your circle needs to hear for you to go and unlock something within them. So thank you so much for watching. And this was the real, raw, uncut story of my It Works Global journey.